Okay, part two. Look, so you have this pitcher, and inside that empty pitcher was the lamp. There was a little lamp, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about that lamp because the Lord showed me something really significant about the light of the lamp, and I'm talking about the lamp, the candlestick, the lampstand inside the tabernacle of Moses. I always thought it was different. I always thought it was the Spirit, the light of the Spirit. Well, the Spirit is so much more. The Spirit brings us into truth. The Spirit teaches us things from God. The Spirit actually brings us to God, all the way to Him. So that light in the tabernacle of Moses I always thought it was the light of the Spirit, but I'm going to get to that. Okay, but it's the same. It's the same light that was in that empty pitcher. Okay, so you got Gideon there with the empty pitcher, and inside that empty pitcher was his lamp. And he said, every man do as I do. You know, all he had was a trumpet, a pitcher, empty pitcher with a lamp in it. So he's hiding that light, and they're walking up to the enemy, and they've got their trumpet. There's 300 men there with Gideon. And he says, okay, guys, everybody get your empty pitcher. So they pull their lamp out, and they threw down the pitcher, and they crushed it, and they made a loud noise. And they held that little lamp up so all those great enemies and masses of armies down there below them could see these lights up. Okay, and they all said, "Hey, blow with the trumpet." And they blew with the trumpet, and they shouted, and the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And don't you know those people just fled? They were in dire straits. Okay, they was in trouble when that sword came out. Okay, and there was a great deliverance because of a light in his hand, and he blew at the trumpet, and the sword came out. Okay, is what he spoke. The Lord of the sword and of Gideon. Okay, now I want to talk about that light that was in the tabernacle of Moses. I did a lot of study back when I was a young man on the tabernacle of Moses. And a lot of things I didn't see rightly. I thought of them a different way because I was looking at them under the law, sin, death, not way, truth, life. You know, Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Okay? And it just blows my mind when I think about way, truth, life. You know, standing in the power of His might. It's not what you do. It's what Jesus has done for you. Have faith in that. Have faith in that. Your works ain't a hill of beans. They don't amount to nothing. Okay? They actually, I know they stink before God. The only thing God really wants is for you to present Christ Jesus to Him. Have faith in what He did for you. That's your sanctification. You're not only saved by the cross. Your faith in that is your sanctification. Remember the very first video I did about the water that gushed out of the rock. You're sanctified by the word of Christ. Okay. All right. Now you know about the tabernacle of Moses. How that there was an outer court, and inside the outer court there was a tabernacle. You know, and there was a curtain that divided the furnishings of the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant. And in the outer court, you had the altar, the brazen altar, and you had a laver, which looked like a bird bath. You know, it was a laver. It's where the priests would wash their hands and their feet before they could enter into the temple, or what was it called? I don't know, the tabernacle. Before they could enter into the tabernacle. Well, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that laver. And this is another thing that I viewed wrong. I was always taught, when I know that the altar, the brazen altar, is the cross. Look, you got the 4 horns there, and you got the blood. That altar was sanctified. They got blood, and they wiped it on each. There's four horns on that altar. It's the nails. The sacrifice was burnt on that altar. Jesus was sacrificed on a cross. The blood was to be poured out beside the altar. That blood came flowing down. That blood came flowing down off that cross. It saved us all. Okay, and the next thing after that altar, the brazen altar, was that laver. And it looked like a bird bath. And the priest that did the office in the tabernacle of Moses had to wash their hands and their feet in this laver before they went into the tabernacle, lest they die. If they did not wash their hands and their feet before they went in, they would die. And I always thought that the laver was a mirror to look at yourself. And examine yourself and make sure you was without spot or blemish or holy enough. You're good enough to go into that tabernacle. And it really, that laver was actually made from the looking glasses from the women outside the gate. They all gave up their mirrors, their brass mirrors that they examined themselves with, to make that laver that contained the water that the priests washed their hands and their feet in. Why? Because that laver is not to examine yourself by. You don't look at it at your reflection. Okay, what do women do with a mirror? They look at it and they try to find a spot or a blemish, or they paint their face and they look at their makeup. They hide their face under this makeup. They look at their own beauty in it. Look, that laver is sanctification. It's your faith, what the cross has done for you. That's what sanctifies you. I'm going to ask you this. A high priest, when they brought a sacrifice up to him to put on that altar, a sheep, a lamb, that lamb had to be without spot or without blemish or anything wrong with it. Solid white. Did the high priest ever examine the man that brought the sacrifice, or did he examine the sacrifice? It is Jesus is the one who has saved us. It was Jesus that was without sin. It was Jesus that fulfilled the law. Okay, so that laver, quit using it as a mirror. It's not a mirror. Jesus Christ took away your sins. Your sanctification is not done through works, trying to wash yourself and look at yourself and do all these things. It's being washed in the water of the Word. It's your faith. That's your sanctification. Quit looking at it as a mirror. Wash your hands and your feet. You're sanctified. Now, after the priest did that, he was able to go on into the temple. And in that temple, there's furnishings. And I know lots of you guys heard this in church, studied it yourselves. But when you went in there, when you went in the temple, there was a table of showbread that had 12 cakes of unleavened bread on it. Right in front of it was an altar of incense. It wasn't sacrifice wasn't put on there. It was an altar of incense. You were to only get the coals off the cross back there. Only the coals from the brazen altar outside in the court. The coals from there was put in there with fine incense. That was holiness to the Lord. That was a sweet savor. When you pray, when you walk, make sure you have an open hand and you standing in the power of His might. And you're speaking with the faith and the truth of what He did at the cross. And you're washed in that water of the Word. It's what He did for you. It's what He did for you. But I'm getting to the lampstand, okay? I know I'm getting off. But the lampstand, okay, I always looked at it as the light of the Spirit. And when this dawned on me, it was just like, wow, Lord, it's just like the light of Gideon. That lampstand had 7 flames on it. And 7 it represents rest, the Sabbath day, where a man ceases from his own works as God did his own works, when a man ceases from his own works. So that lampstand, okay, it's the light of rest. It's the knowledge of rest. Rest in what Jesus has done for you. If we walk in that light, we can see clearly. We see in the eyes, through the eyes of grace. Not loss and death, but grace. Way, truth, life. But I just wanted to share with you guys today about the light of rest. You know, there is a rest for the people of God. It actually says there now is a place, or there's a rest for the people of God now. Okay, that you enter into that where you cease from your own works. Okay, thanks.